Today, in my sister's kitchen, I am showing you how to make a one-pot meal chicken vegetable soup that tastes better left over. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com and welcome to my sister's kitchen. I don't ever get to say that. I'm in the middle of moving, so we are not in my kitchen. We are in my sister's. Ta-da! Okay, today we're making chicken vegetable soup. It is super simple and delicious. It has everything you need. It has protein, it has potatoes, it has veggies, and we're gonna head over and cook it on the stovetop. But my favorite part is that it tastes even better leftover. So this is one recipe you're gonna want to make sure you have leftovers so you can heat it for lunches, especially on a cold day. Now, before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe. We really want you to be a part of our community. We love helping people and teaching people how to eat on a budget, and that cooking doesn't have to be difficult. And if you want today's full recipe, I have the link in the description along with all the links that we're using today. And if you love soups, you might want to check out our Soup-tember cookbook. I have that link included as well because it's on sale. Now, before we head to the stove, I like to start with cutting my veggies. So we are going to cheat today and use this food chopper as much as possible. I have this linked for you as well. You guys know I'm obsessed with my food chopper, and so it just makes it so much easier, especially when you're cooking a soup. So we're gonna start with a half an onion, and I'm just gonna cut that half an onion into quarters and then just push it through. Today I am using, let me show you, I forgot to show you, the bigger one, but there's also a smaller one. I'm using the bigger one today because I'm gonna be cutting up potatoes, and I like the idea of all my veggies basically being the same size, so I want my potatoes to be the same size as all the other veggies. That's just my personal preference, but you can chop this by hand, you do you. But look how easy that was. Now we're gonna do celery. I've got 3 stalks, stems, well, I don't know what they're called. I always get confused. But all you have to do is just cut them to where they will fit in your chopper. So you just pop it in there and chop it. It's super easy because your kids can easily do this. They want to help. Now again, if you have picky kids with the vegetables, you can use the smaller ones, so they'll be smaller. But if I'm serving a chicken vegetable soup, there's really no hiding the vegetables in this. And so I like them nice and big, just matching everything up. But you do you. Now we need carrots. We're gonna do 3 carrots. You can put this in your food chopper, but it doesn't always work as well. So I'm just going to hand chop them today. These are smaller, so they would probably work better. But what I do is I cut them in half lengthwise and then in half lengthwise again. The crazy thing is that your carrots are usually the last thing to cook when you're making a soup. So if they're smaller, that's totally okay. And again, on all of these vegetables, you can make this go faster, like cooking them, if everything gets chopped up really small. Now we're gonna do potatoes. You're gonna need 2 russet potatoes, peeled and diced. Now, I've already had them peeled because Christina did it off camera because she has the world's oldest potato peeler and I couldn't figure out how to work it. So I asked her, is this original to your marriage? And she said, yes. So somebody gave this to her. I don't even recognize the brand, for her wedding, and they've been married 18 years, I think, in February. So she said it still works great, but this potato looks like it's been mutilated. So I'm gonna get her a new potato peeler, like as soon as I'm done with this video. Now I am gonna use my food chopper for my potatoes, so I wanna show you how I'm doing that. And what I do is I just slice them into rings. Now I totally forgot I needed to dump these out because we're gonna saute these first. So I'm like prepping up for the dinner. So I'm gonna put these in a bowl, and then now we can chop these up. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. So once you have your potatoes sliced in slices, you just lay them flat. Oh, make sure this is on. And then push it through, and you have these beautiful cubes, like hash browns almost. And if you want to, you could use frozen hash browns in this recipe if you want to. Just do the diced kind. That's a nice time saver, but everything's pretty much like fresh and delicious, so just spend a little bit of time with these potatoes. But look at that, perfectly cubed potatoes. Now we got everything chopped, so now we can head to the stovetop and get to cooking. In a large stock pot, we're going to heat about a tablespoon of olive oil. Then toss in your onions, celery, and carrots. We're going to saute these for about 5 minutes until everything starts to get soft. Now the carrots won't be completely cooked through, but you should see that the onions are translucent and everything is just getting a little bit softer. I just wanted to show you, so now they are nice and sauteed. You can see the onions are turning translucent, they're not as bright, and everything isn't quite as bright. So that means we are ready to add our other ingredients. Stir in 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I like to saute it for about a minute just until you can smell that garlic. If you want to use fresh garlic, it's going to be 3 cloves that you've minced. Add in 1 cup of corn. It can be canned corn or frozen corn. And 1 cup of green beans. Normally we use fresh, but we didn't have any fresh at our store, so we're just using canned that we have diced up. You can also do frozen as well. Add in those chopped or diced potatoes. 1 can of diced tomatoes. Add in 6 cups of chicken broth, which 1 carton is 4 cups, and then you just need to add 2 more cups. If you want to save money, you could do 4 cups of chicken broth and then 2 cups of water, but I highly recommend the chicken because it just, some chicken broth or bone broth, because it just adds a lot of flavor to those vegetables. And here's the other 2 cups of broth. Add in 2 cups of cooked chicken that you have diced up or shredded. This is a great time that you can use leftover chicken or even rotisserie chicken. We're going to add in our seasonings: a teaspoon of thyme, a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. And then 2 bay leaves, and stir to combine. Now we're going to turn the heat up to high and we're going to bring this to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, go ahead and reduce the heat to medium and let it simmer for 20 to 25 minutes until all the veggies are tender and cooked through. It's been about 20 minutes. I've already tested the potatoes. They are nice and tender. And as you can see, it has gone down. So if you think you're running out of water while it's simmering, you can always add the lid. So all that's left is I like to let it sit for a few minutes, and we're going to remove the bay leaves. I've let it sit for a few minutes because soup is piping hot, like I always say. Don't know where that comes from. Someone in the comments let me know. But now we're just going to stir in some fresh parsley. Somehow before the beginning of the video towards the end, I started getting congested. That's crazy. So the soup is coming at a perfect time. Basically, you're going to need some fresh parsley, about 2 tablespoons-ish. Just eyeball it. I just kind of chop some up, and then my sister has a cool rock and chop, but I've never done that before. But I just use a big, large knife. You always want to just hold the pointy side down and just kind of, you know, rock and chop it, I guess. Then we're just going to stir this in. This just adds a lot of freshness to it. You know, you can eliminate that, especially if the green stuff scares your kids because you're already giving the soup the veggies. I won't blame you, but it does make it look so bright and pretty. My favorite part, scooping it. I did want to show you this ladle. This is Christina's, and I thought it was weird at first, but now I think it's kind of cool. It has these holes in it. Can you see that? In the back. So you can like do your scoop, but if you got too much liquid, you can just lean towards the back and it drains it out. Or you can just ladle in the soup. How fun is that? But anyway, we have a link for that as well. But look at her. She's beautiful. Can't wait for a bite. It's time for the taste. I'm so excited. It's still pretty hot, so we're gonna have to do a good blow. I feel like this would be good with some grilled cheese too. Crusty roll. Yeah, I'm here for the flavor. That's good. This was not a lot of work, super easy, and if you wanted to make it even easier, you could buy pre-chopped carrots and celery and onions in the frozen section. It's going to cost you a little bit more money, but you literally would just throw everything in the pot. You could also throw all of this in the crock pot. In fact, I think we have a crock pot version that's similar that I'll make sure to include a link to, guys. Okay, friends, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe, and drop in the comments what you would serve this with, because I'm thinking some garlic knots, some garlic bread, or a grilled cheese would be delivers. That garlic knots was a little plug for a future recipe, and you're gonna want to check that out because they're delicious. We're actually working on that video right now too, so stay tuned, friends. But anyway, remember you can get the full recipe linked in the description, plus everything that we use, including the cool ladle. If you're needing anything, again, we're not trying to tell you to buy stuff, but if you need something, we usually try to find a good price for you. Okay, we're out of here. Thanks so much for joining me. Remember, you can grab our Souptember cookbook. I have that link. Nice discount right now. I think it's like 55% off. So snag it while you can in the description. I will see you next time in maybe my sister's kitchen or maybe my new kitchen. We'll see. But I'll see you next time. In the meantime, don't forget to eat at home by eating on a dime. Bye, friends.